it's not really me that's teaching. I facilitate a program called Thinking into Results. And it's the material of Bob Proctor, and the program was developed by a lady by the name of Sandy Gallagher. Now, Bob's a world-renowned human behavior expert, and he came up with this material over the course of 55 years of study. Now, Sandy Gallagher came into his life in 2006 and said, we need to put this into a program that we can teach to corporations and companies and organizations all over the world, and people can learn from them, and how it can be applied personally as well. So I facilitate this program, and my job is to keep people on track, be an accountability partner, and just make sure that they're comfortable with what they're learning, and answer any questions that they might have. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was sick, very, very sick. I'd say borderline depression. I was about 210 pounds, and I wasn't wearing it very well. And I had no interest. I had divorced myself of my friends and family. I was out on my own, had nobody to talk to. And, I was just not living a very content or happy life. I was trying all kinds of weird things to try and get a moment of instant gratification, a little bit of joy in my life, but it wouldn't last very long. So I was without direction, without purpose. I didn't know what I should be doing in life. So when Thinking into Results was presented to me, and I didn't go out looking for it, I didn't go asking people, what are they doing? It was presented to me. I had this intuitive idea that I needed to follow this path. And I'm so happy that I did. Wow, when I grew up, I had no vision of a future. I just knew I had to get a job, I had to grow up, I had to work my way through my life. I was good at fixing things. I could fix anything. You give me a manual of enough time and money, I can fix anything. But I learned how to do that. So it's not something that's gratifying. It didn't fulfill me. It didn't fill my soul. I went from job to job for 20 years. I must have had 20 jobs in 20 years and never found what I truly liked. And like I said a few minutes ago, I was trying weird stuff. At one time in my life, I was beer. The only thing I could think about was, where do I get my beer? Is he coming out for a beer? How do I pay for my beer? If I put gas in my car, I won't be able to buy beer. Yeah, you become what you think about all day long. And for a short period in my early 20s, I was beer. So, now, again, I've got direction. I know where I'm taking my life. I don't have to be beer anymore. Most of us, pretty much I can say all of us at one point or another in our lives basically wander through our lives, through our physical world, right? We come across circumstances, or circumstances come into our lives, and we react to those circumstances. We've learned to live through our physical senses. We've been conditioned to live through those senses. So it kind of keeps us in a bit of a state of bondage. We learned that we have to grow up, get an education, get a job, fall in love, grow a family, retire into doing whatever it is you want to do. Well, that's not really the way life was meant to be. We were meant to have fun, have joy in our lives, to live our lives with experiences that, we just shouldn't get out of a normal track of progress in life. We need to have goals. We need to have direction. When you're stuck in a rut, in a comfort zone, life gets mundane and boring. It could lead to disease, depression, anxiety, all kinds of maladies. But when you have a goal to reach for, when you have something that lights your fire, you want to get up first thing in the morning and go out and do it, then you're on your purpose in life. You know what you're supposed to be doing. And you go out and you create a plan, and you take action on that plan, and before you know it, you've reached your goal, and you're setting the next big goal. So it's really important for everybody to know this, because A, we could reduce a lot of disease, we could reduce a lot of anxiety, we can create a world that would be just amazing, helping each other to grow, helping each other to live life to its fullest. It would be just an amazing place to have that, and that's why people need to learn this material. It was intuition. It was not really a choice or a decision. It was my intuition saying this is the right thing to do. So I just followed it, for perhaps the first time in my life where I really, really took notice of my intuition and the powerful feeling that I needed to do this program and study it and get good at it so that I can come out here and educate you and the people out there and the people that come to the seminars and my clients. That's what thrills me. That's what fulfills my soul. We have unlimited potential to be, have, or do anything that we want to be, have, or do. We just have to make a decision on doing it, create a goal, something that's beautiful, something that's out there, something that you have to reach for so that you grow in taking your steps, so that basically when you make a plan and you try to achieve one of those steps in that plan, you learn something. You learn how to do something to get you to where you want to be. And when you learn, you grow. And when you grow, you create. And when you create, you do beautiful things. It's amazing. It's just a beautiful concept, and it's a beautiful image that I've created for myself in my life. Look at how happy I am. There's no comparing to what I was 5 years ago. Bob Proctor told me when I started this program that I would need a telescope to see where I was 5 years ago. And he's not kidding. I cannot imagine, how I got into that state. Well, I know how I got into that state. I lived it. But I can never imagine going back to that. There's no way I can, not with the knowledge that I've learned. And I apply it every day. I study it every day. I live it every day. This is really cool. I know what I want in life. I wish I had known this when I was a kid. I wish they would teach this stuff in school, because we'd have a world that could be a utopia right now. My name's Steve Bredschneider. I'm the proprietor of a company called True Results, and I'm a consultant for the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And I facilitate a program called Thinking into Results. And that's my boss. I don't know if you know who Bob Proctor is, but if you've seen the movie The Secret, Bob was one of the featured guests in that movie. Bob has been studying human behavior for over 55 years, and he turns 82, I believe, on July the 7th. And he's an amazing man. He lights up a room. He has got such energy and such presence, and he has such knowledge. It is incredible. I'm very happy to be being mentored by him, and I'm here to pass on his knowledge. In all actuality, the program that I instruct is all of Bob's material. A young lady by the name of Sandy Gallagher put this program together. And the DVDs that you see displayed in the image are basically Bob instructing you. So my job isn't to instruct you on the material. My job is to facilitate the program. If you get stuck, I get to tell you how to find your way through the program, or what lesson to go back to and study over again, or maybe give you a nudge in the right direction. But we keep you on course to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. A little bit about the program. The first lesson is about goal achievement. Now, goal achievement is a science. It works. And all you have to do is follow this program step by step, and you'll reach your goal. So the first lesson is about setting goals. We teach you how to use your imagination, your fantasy, to be able to kind of create a goal for yourself that's causing you to reach. If you're reaching for that goal, you're going to do something that allows you to grow. And that's where the fun is. You get to learn new stuff. You get to meet new people. You get to expand your knowledge. It's truly an amazing thing. The second lesson is about our paradigms. It talks about how our paradigms are kind of guide us. That's our logical mind. The third lesson expands on the paradigms, kind of talks about how it holds us back. Paradigm is a nest of habits that we've kind of accumulated during the course of our lives. And a lot of those habits were given to us by our conditioning, by our environment, by things that happen to us, by our influence of our parents and siblings and other people in our lives. And the third lesson really explodes on the paradigms and really explains them very well. The fourth lesson is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the stick person. And this is a a graphic that was drawn by a chiropractic doctor by the name of Dr. Thurman Fleet back in 1934. This information's been around for a long, long time. It's just that nobody really knows about it. That's my job on the planet, is to give this information out because everybody deserves to know about this. So this is the stick person. And we're going to let the top half, or the top circle, represent the mind, and the bottom circle represent the body. Now, it's not like that in real life, right? In real life, the mind is in every cell of the body, okay? But for the sake of this image and for the sake of simplicity, we're going to say that the body is an instrument of the mind. Let's face it, I'm not here thinking consciously about the hand gestures that I'm making. I'm not consciously thinking about the words that are coming out of my face. They just come out. And that's my mind doing all the work. You like that? We're going to split the mind into two sections. We have two parts to the mind. Now, I know that there are psychologists and psychiatrists, very likely, possibly in this room, that will tell you that the mind is a much more complicated place than what it really is. But for the sake of simplicity, we're going to split it into two. The top half we're to let represent our conscious mind, and the bottom half we're going to let represent our subconscious mind. So let's talk about our thinking mind. Our conscious mind is considered our thinking mind, and our subconscious mind is considered our emotional mind. So our conscious mind is quite a powerful place. We gather our knowledge. We have the capability of reason, which is one of our higher faculties, and we have the capability of originating thought. This is where our imagination, which is another one of our higher faculties, comes into play. We can originate thought. We can use our imagination to pretty much fantasize about anything we like. The thing about our conscious mind is that we can accept or reject thoughts. If we find that they're true and real, and we like what we hear, we can accept that thought. If we know that it's wrong or false, we can dismiss it immediately and not pay any attention to it. Our subconscious mind is a little bit different. It's our emotional mind, as we stated before. We store our memories, we have our paradigms, and we have our emotions. Now, our emotional mind, or our subconscious mind, cannot reject any thoughts. It can only accept what our conscious mind accepts as being true and real. Then we have our senses. We can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And they're hardwired into our conscious mind. Let's face it, there are inputs. There are sensory inputs. They help us deal with the physical realm that we live in. So we have our higher faculties as well: our will, our imagination, our perception, our reason, and our intuition. Oh, and our memory. These are the higher faculties that separate us from any other animal or any other species on the planet. The thing is that most of us aren't really aware of these higher faculties or how to use them. And that's what the program really gets us involved with. See, up until this very moment, most of us have been living our lives through our physical realm, all right? We have a circumstance that comes to us. We feel an emotional reaction to that circumstance, and we allow our emotions to take our thoughts and do whatever they will with them. We tend to embrace our emotions and react and perhaps do bad things with our thoughts. So the real way that it works is that our conscious mind creates thoughts, and when we accept them as being true and real, and we put an emotional value to it, our subconscious mind accepts that as that emotional value. Now, a circumstance that comes to us in a neutral manner. There's no positive to it, there's no negative to it, there's just a circumstance. The thought that we decide to have and give to it makes it either good or bad, positive or negative. If we accept something as a negative, we immediately feel anxiety, or we feel anger, or we feel some kind of a negative emotion. And because we embrace that emotion, our thoughts run away on us. We're not in control of our thoughts. So what the program teaches us is that we do have control over our emotions. I'll give you an example. I get a bill, you know, that Christmas bill from Visa, the one that says, "Holy hell, did I ever overspend?" When I used to be, or before I became aware, when I used to get those bills, I'd look, oh my God, how am I gonna pay for this now? I didn't mean to spend that much. I'm gonna have to work overtime. I'm gonna have to work longer. I'm gonna have to work harder to pay that bill off. And I'd go into this negative spiral and I'd be thinking about it for months and months. And when you're going in that negative spiral, you have anxiety. You have an emotional weight on not just your mind, but on your body. You start putting your body into dis-ease. You start having maladies. You could be suffering from stomach indigestion. You could have heart failure. You could have some kind of a thing that goes wrong with you when you're in those negative vibrations or that negative state of mind. The thing about it is that with every circumstance, there's something good out of it, right? You take a look at that very same bill. The bill came to you, there was a number on it. It's just a number. It's neither good nor bad. The thought that we have to it is what gives it that emotional state. So the number is just a number, and I look at it and I go, oh yeah, I remember these products that I purchased. These were gifts for my family. These were products or services that I purchased for my friends and family so that I could give to them at Christmas time. And I think about that, and I'm thinking, they're really happy with that stuff. I've given some joy and happiness to those people. So I'm really grateful to have this bill. It's just that it's time for me to pay it now. So I look at the date and it's, another 2 weeks away. I don't have to worry about it right now. I know I'll have the money in 2 weeks' time and I can put this bill away and come back to it and pay it later. And when I do pay it, I write in big bold letters across the bill, thank you very much for your services and products. You've given my family great joy. And I say paid in full and put it away. No more stress. No more trauma, no more anxiety. Brooke asked a few minutes ago if anybody has ever experienced living in stress. I don't anymore. I enjoy my life. What are you laughing at? It's true. I don't suffer stress anymore. Even my job's gotten better.
Okay.
It has.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
5 years ago, I don't think Johnny and I knew each other back then 5 years ago. I was a mess. I was truly a mess. I was 210 pounds. I had no interest in anything. I divorced myself from my friends, my family, my girlfriend. I just sat on my couch with my hand down my pants, hitting the button, looking for something I haven't seen before. It was disgusting. I'm not proud of that at all. A pretty bad picture, isn't it? And then thinking into results came into my life. I didn't go looking for it. I wasn't looking for personal improvement. It came into my life. I believe it was the universe saying that it was my turn to learn this information. I have completely turned my life around. I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm joyful, I like my job, I love what I'm doing here, and I need for everybody on the planet to understand that they can have exactly the kind of joy and happiness that I'm experiencing. I should take you back to that picture with Bob. Look at that grin on that face. That was a day that I had some serious joy. I was so happy to be standing next to Bob. It was just an amazing event. So I hope that you can see how powerful this program is. You can truly have everything that you want. I want to tell you about Elon Musk. Does anybody know who Elon is? Peter does, Ben does. Elon Musk is the guy who invented PayPal, or one of the guys that invented PayPal. It were a group of university students, and they came up with this idea of safely transferring money over the internet to do things and making a small percentage to pay for the program, pay for their wages, pay for whatever it takes. The guy got rich on the program. He sold PayPal to his buddies, and he took off. He decided, he made a goal. He wanted to take over where NASA left off. He wanted to take pay packages up to the ISS, perhaps do some manned space flights in the near future. So he built SpaceX. From SpaceX, he went to Tesla. From Tesla, he went to the Tesla wall. He's looking to generate electricity, or I shouldn't say generate electricity, but build a distribution network for the United States that uses nothing but renewable sources of energy. Elon's what we call an unconscious competent. This guy goes out and he does stuff, right? He makes a decision. I'm going to do this, and he takes his decision, he makes a plan, and he executes his plan. And that's all there is to goal achievement. Elon makes it look easy, but we have to learn how to do it. And that's where thinking into results comes in handy. This program isn't just good for you, it's good for your family. Can you imagine you living a happy, fulfilled, wholesome, great life, doing great things for yourself, doing great things for your family, doing great things for your community, perhaps your city, perhaps the province, perhaps the country? If we spread this knowledge to everyone that we meet, to anyone that wants to listen, we could conceivably have global peace within 2 or 3 generations. And that excites me. I used to be an air cadet. I never liked the idea of having people climb into aircraft or on boats and sail off to foreign countries being shot at, blown up, shot up, messed up mentally, and come home in that state or even in a pine box. Never understood what the purpose of war was, except to cause death and harm and grief and sadness. I think we can have global peace if we just spread this kind of knowledge. And I think that's what my purpose on this planet is to do. Can I just have a show of hands if people enjoyed this and has walked away with something that they didn't come in with? Ashley, oh look, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, and with that, I guess we can conclude. I thank you so much for coming. Thank you very much.